Hey there, comic book fans. I'm back from the comic shop again today with 7 new comics. Down from my 10 I've had in weeks, and some last issues of things, so that number's going to go down again. But first, let me show you my top of the printer museum piece cover for the week that I've had on the top of my printer that I pick up and look at. And this is, I just pulled out a random issue of Concrete, and I really like this cover. This is Concrete number 9 from Dark Horse. I don't remember what year this is from. The 80s, I think, the late 80s or mid. I can't even remember, but I really like this cover. The colors on it really are nice, with all these, the blue and the shadow of the yellowish snow and the big red monolith he's carrying. I really enjoy this cover. I don't think I've looked at it in a long time. So matter of fact, let's open this up and see what years it's from. You know, it's just been sitting on my shelf, so it never gets out. And, you know, these old comics of mine sit on the shelf and never get out, so I don't get to see the covers. This one's from 1988. So, you know, wow. Really nice little pink logo up there. Lots of color on this. Looks really nice. And, oh, there's a back cover, too. I need one of those clear backing boards for my museum spot, because I always put them. This I just take out and I'll put it back on the shelf, and then I'll put a new comic in this bag right here, this Silver Age Mylar with a backing board, or maybe even it's a Golden Age. It's a pretty big one. So that was the cover I had out all week to look at. Now let me show you my comics. The first one is a one-shot, and this is one of the first 2 comics from Bad Idea that have my name in them. Whalesville, Rocks and Minerals, and this is square-bound $10 comic, because it's about 60 pages or something. And it's got 2 stories in it. It's got Whalesville, Matt Kint and Adam Polina, and Matt Kint and Tony Millionaire do Rocks and Minerals, which is the one in the back. So there's the Adam Polina stuff. I remember him from 90s Marvel, but this stuff is much more fairy tale-ish kind of here. And then there's Tony Millionaire in the back. So it looks cool. Matter of fact, I was just getting... Oh, let me show you my name in it, because I was doing the production on this. I'm in there, down... Where am I? Somewhere in there, Jared Osborne. I can't see it. It's reversed for me. But we're just getting a second printing of this out, too. And one of the reasons is there's supposed to be a Bad Idea logo down here that somehow fell off in the digital process. It was very, very confusing. But there'll be a second printing of this with a different color logo. This one is yellow with a little drop shadow. The other one's going to be black, I think. And we'll have the Bad Idea double shot logo down there. Like it was. I hate when that happens. It's just been just a crazy thing, a crazy mix-up thing that happened that shouldn't have happened. And next we've got Ediac number 3. Bad Idea in the back. And this is the other one. I'm in there. My name's in there somewhere. But I've been enjoying Ediac. They're going against a big supercomputer team of military guys. So we'll see how, you know, there's only one more issue of this left too. You know, I'm looking at all these covers have varnish on them, so you can look at them and go, ooh, there's a nice cover stock and varnish. So I enjoyed looking at that. And we're gonna pick up Nocterra number 3. I don't know if I just picked up this issue or put it on my pull list. I'm going to have to see, because I picked up the first issue, thought it was just okay. Then I picked up the second issue on a whim because I saw it there. And I put the third issue on my pull list. But I don't know if I put the whole series on my pull list, because I can put it issue by issue at a time if I want, because I get an email from my comic shop and can do that. So that's a nice cover. I'm just looking at that. I got to say, enjoying that cover. Is that a Tony Daniels cover? I can't tell from that signature. I think it is. Now, it doesn't give us cover credits, but it must be Tony Daniels, but I don't recognize that signature down the bottom. Whoops, we're over here. I don't recognize that signature down the bottom, nor can I read it, but that's a pretty cool cover. And then we got Hey Kids Comics Volume 2. No, it's funny. I missed Volume 1 when it came out. I think it was 6 issues, and I read it digitally and thought it was okay. I think I ended up buying the last issue of it because I saw it on the stands at the shop. But for some reason, I've been buying Howard Chaykin's stuff for the last 10 years or so. All his indie stuff I've been buying. And this is sort of a history of the comic book. A comic book history, a history of the people working in comic books, with their names changed, thinly discussed, and it flips around between like the 40s, the 60s, and the 90s. And I read it digitally and thought it was okay. And then kind of when it all ended, I'm like, you know what? I want to read them as comics. So I went on eBay and bought the whole 1 to 6 or 1 to 4. I can't even remember what it was. And I really liked them as comics. I really liked them better. And I think one of the reasons was there's this in the front. Who tell you, because sometimes as you're reading it, he gives you 2 pages about these guys, 4 pages about these guys, and sometimes I forget, because that's a big cast of characters. And so I would just go, who's that guy again? And flip right back. And you go, oh, that guy. Who's that guy again? Oh, yeah, that's the Jack Kirby guy. Oh, yeah, that's the Gil Kane guy. Oh, yeah, that's the, I forget who else they had in here, guy. The Stan Lee guy. Oh, that's the Mort Weisinger guy. And it was I just liked it so much more as a comic than I liked it digitally. And I think that easily flipping back to that key helped me a lot. But I look forward to this second series. And then we've got the last issue of Fear Case. Once again, look at that oversaturated, wrinkly paper. That just annoys me to no end. But this has been okay. Matt Kint and who's the artist? Tyler Jenkins. Yeah, Tyler and Hillary Jenkins and Matt Kint. It's been okay. This is a 4-issue series from Dark Horse. I haven't loved. It's been a B. Another paranoid, mystery from Matt Kint sort of thing. And the artwork, the storytelling in the artwork is good but not great. So that's how I describe this whole book. Good but not great. Right down to that. Look at those wrinkles in that cover. That's crazy. How does CGC grade something like this? How would you? I've never seen any. I mean, how do you grade when the book is wrinkled because it's oversaturated? If you were to press this book, would that come out? And would those wrinkles come out if you press it? And would you get a higher grade without those wrinkles? I don't know. I've never heard that being dealt with on CGC, so I don't know. And then we've got The Deep Beyond, number 4. This is an Italian series. I guess it's post-apocalyptic. But it's more science fiction post-apocalyptic. Something happened to the Earth. We can't live outside. Everybody lives in these cities. But then we have these people who rebelled. And, well, not really rebelled, but they just didn't follow the rules and became outlaws. And now one of them is looking for her sister who disappeared in this underwater. She was an underwater scientist and disappeared there. And it's just a really nicely done series. Solid storytelling, solid writing, solid artwork. I've been enjoying it. It's going to go 12 issues, I think, and this is issue 4. So, I think I picked up the first 2 issues one week a few months ago and liked it and put it on my pull list, so I've been buying it. Let's see, the last thing we got looks like a new series of Kaiju Max is here. Season 6, issue number 1. These are always, he gives us a 1 season, I think it's 1 season, must be 1 season a year, 6 issues. We'll see how it is this time. Kaiju Max is about giant monsters in prison. And each season has kind of been a different concept. I still never read season 1, but season 2 was one of where I started, was one of the giant monsters out on parole. I think the last season took place in the Max prison for giant monsters, except it was about sort of the court system, and also there's people in giant robot suits who are the guards, and one of the guards was was a prison, got in trouble for stuff, and was in the prison with the giant monsters, and was stuck in her giant robot suit. So that one was kind of different. And then the one before that, I think, was mostly prison stuff, which were all about the prisoners and their gangs that they have. Like the different kaiju are in different gangs. Like the lizards are in one gang. I don't know, the moths are in another gang. I forget which one. The fauna are in there's different prison gangs made up of Kaiju Max, and it's just really well done. Xander Cannon. I enjoy this one a lot. All right, so let me show you some of the artwork behind me. I worked on another big ink drawing. I think I'm going to do painting next. This one I took one of my smaller drawings and I just kind of blew it up. And and I just was working with textures again. I wanted something that was simple and a bold face. So I went for that. Look at those lines in the eyes. And one of the interesting things, there's sort of a face in a vase thing happening here with his shoulders kind of look like that. Looks like his shoulders there. He could be a skinny guy with those shoulders, or else these could be his shoulders up here, which are darker. So he could be like this, or he could be like this, kind of in the same drawing. And that wasn't quite intentional. It's just the way it came. I originally drew him with with him hunched over with those shoulders there. But then I just started making it darker and darker in here until I realized that if I made it dark enough, I could have the two sets of shoulders going. So that's what I ended up doing with this one. Lots of crazy bursts up there. Woo! But anyway, there's another big ink drawing. I think I'll work on a painting next. And you guys have a good week out there.